Distinguishing features of SEM: estimation of multiple and interrelated relationship. Interrelated relationship, like you can see here, these are the interrelated relationship. Price related to customer share, customer relation related to customer commitment. These are the interrelated relationship. Interrelated relationship. The latent concept, unobserved concept, and corrects for measurement error. Defines model that explain the entire set of relationship. I am explaining here those. What is the meaning of? There are two terms. One is exogenous construct and another is endogenous construct. So generally we use dependent and independent variables when we use multiple regression analysis, discriminant analysis, logistic regression, ANOVA, MANOVA. We use the term dependent and independent variables. But in structural equation modeling, we use two terms: exogenous construct and endogenous construct. Through exploratory factor analysis, we identify the construct. In my previous example, we found three construct. Three construct means one construct the service, another construct was marketing, and the third construct was the product value. Okay, so these are the construct. Construct means combination of three or four questions. So the service was the combination, the service component club three questions, marketing again club three questions, and product value also club three questions. Now these are the construct, or the other name factor or component, dimensions, construct, all are same thing. But in a structural equation modeling, we use the term construct. Construct nothing but factor. Okay, and each factor has three or four questions. So and there are two things. One is exogenous and another is endogenous. So in a exploratory factor analysis, simultaneously we take dependent variable and independent variable. Means questions related to dependent variable and as well as independent variable. Both type of questions we take in our exploratory factor analysis. After conducting the exploratory factor analysis, we identify three factors. For example, service. So service is, I think it is dependent variable. Marketing, independent variable. Product value, independent variable. So the dependent variable and the other independent variable, these are the independent construct or independent. So here I am not using the term independent and dependent. I will use independent means exogenous and dependent means endogenous. So I will use the two terms exogenous and endogenous. Exogenous nothing but combination of three or four independent variables, and endogenous nothing but combination of three or more questions related to dependent variable. So what is the definition of exogenous construct? So throughout the structural equation modeling, I will use two terms: exogenous construct and endogenous construct. Exogenous construct are latent multi-item equivalent of independent variables. So the exogenous constructs are latent, because unobserved means latent, multi item equivalent of independent variables. Independent variables means there may be three or four independent variables. So they use as linear combinations of measures to represent the construct, which act as an independent variable. Means it is just equivalent to independent variables. Multiple measured variable represent the exogenous construct, xi. Okay, and endogenous construct nothing but are latent multi-item equivalent to dependent variable y1, y2, y3, y4, and multiple measured variable represent the endogenous construct, that is the eta. Eta means endogenous construct. So there are two terms, exogenous and endogenous. So in our model, the complete path model I shown you the earlier, in this model, you can see now there are two types of construct. The y1, y2, y3, these are eta 1 means endogenous, eta 2 endogenous. So both are endogenous construct, endogenous construct. And Jai1, Jai2, it's a combination of independent variables. So what is the name of these three variables? Price, service and atmosphere. Exogenous variables. So exogenous construct. So exogenous construct means combination, each construct has combination of three or more independent variables, x1, x2, x3, x4. Endogenous means eta. Endogenous means y1, y2, y3 means dependent. So exogenous means independent, endogenous means dependent. So we will find the relationship between the endogenous, this is dependent variable, and all are independent or exogenous. Exogenous construct, price, service, atmosphere, and okay. So these are the all the three are exogenous, and customer service, customer share, and customer commitment are endogenous. But when we find the relationship between customer commitment and customer share, then customer commitment will be endogenous and customer share will be exogenous construct. Okay. Now we have understood the concept of exogenous construct and endogenous construct. Now unobserved variable means the latent phenomena which cannot be directly measured. Unobserved means a latent construct that can only be approximated by observable or measurable indicator variable. Means unobserved concept. Directly we cannot understand attitude of the buyers, we cannot understand the buying behavior of buyers. So through some questions we cannot understand the satisfaction level of the buyers. So through some questions we can understand this unobserved phenomena, means latent construct that can only be approximated by observable or measured indicator variable. Measurable indicator variable means questions, the x1, x2, x3. Observed variable known as manifest or indicator variables. This type of data is collected from respondent through various data collection methods such as survey, interview, or observation. These are measurable variables that are used to represent the latent construct. Whatever questions you are taking in your study to apply the structural equation modeling, all the questions known as the observed variable or manifest variable or indicators. Okay, in my questionnaire all the questions are the observed variable or observed variable, manifest variable, or the other name is indicator variable. So when I club 3 or 4 questions, then I can identify the latent construct, unobserved phenomena which cannot be directly observed. Now there are two things in a measurement theory. One is the reflective measurement theory, and another is formative measurement theory. There are two things: reflective measurement theory and the formative. What does that mean? Reflective means symptoms. Reflective measurement assumes the latent constructs cause the measured indicator. Means latent constructs are causing the measured variables, and that the error is result of inability of the latent construct to fully explain the indicators. Thus arrow are drawn from latent construct to the measured variable. What does that mean? Stress. Stress is a construct. Stress. Stress. So how do you find the stress? Stress, it's a construct. So there are these are the reflective measures. What are the reflective measures? The BP, the one indicator, another perspiration, another indicator, nervousness, another variable, frigidity, another variable, So reflective means these are the reflective. Blood pressure. If someone is blood pressure, why the someone has high blood pressure? Because of stress. So who is causing stress? Is causing to the blood pressure. Why my blood pressure increase? Because of stress. High stress, high blood pressure. No stress, no blood pressure. So the uh, perspiration because of the stress. Another symptom, nervousness. I am feeling nervousness because I am in a great stress. So due to stress, I am feeling nervousness. I am feeling frigidity because of stress. So the latent construct cause the measured variable. These are the measured variable: BP, P, perspiration, and the other indicator N means nervousness, frigidity. So latent construct cause the measured indicator variables. So this is the stress. These are the reflection. If my blood pressure is high, it means I am in a stress. So which one is reflecting? My blood pressure is my blood pressure high. Okay. So reflection is blood pressure. Second type of the theory, that is reflective theory. So we can, in a AMOS, we can use only reflective measurement model, and we cannot perform the another model, that is the formative measurement model. Formative measurement model means these who is creating the stress. These are the variables. The assume measured indicators variables. Now measured variables are causing the construct, and the like the formative measurement. Why someone in a stress? Why stress क्यों हुआ? Because of difficult boss. My boss is now this measured variable forming the stress. My boss uh, not good, that is why I am in stress. My kids are not good, troubled home, another indicator. Kids, बच्चे पढ़ते नहीं है, stress, poor work evaluation, या medical condition. So these are these variables, measured variables forming the stress. That is why the name is formative measurement. The formative measurement theory assume the measured indicator variables causes these indicator variables causes the construct, and that the error is a result of inability the measured indicator to fully explain the construct. Therefore the arrow are drawn from measured variable to stress. Why this is arrow from this to this? Because these are the measured variables are formative, they are forming the stress. Formative considered are not considered latent. These are not latent. Now the question is, can we perform formative measurement theory in a AMOS? So we cannot perform formative measurement model in a in a AMOS. So only the reflective measurement model, because we can perform only reflective measurement model in AMOS software. So the reflective means the latent constructs cause the measured variable. So in this path model, you can see the path model is it's a path model. So here in this path model, the price is causing this variable. The arrow from this to this. Price is causing this variable x3. Price is causing this variable. So these are the symptoms x1, x2, x3, x4. Now after that, the observed variable stress, there are two types of model. Now latent construct. So there are two types of construct. I told you one is exogenous construct. Exogenous means independent. X1, X2, X3, X4. Endogenous means Y1 combination of Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4. Two latent constructs and measured variable are represent. Now the loadings, it's a loading, factor loading. Okay, so these are the loadings, these are the loading, factor loading, factor loading, value of factor loading. Loading represent the relationship from construct to variables as in factor analysis. So in a factor analysis, now you can see like this, these are the variables, exogenous construct and another endogenous construct, and x1, x2, x3, x4, and another 4 variable y1, y2, y3, y4. So x1 exogenous is this, and these are the relationship. So this factor loading, this is one factor loading 2, factor loading 3, factor loading 4, and same we can represent this y1 with endogenous factors. So same factor matrix we can represent in a path model. The other is the distinguishing the type of relationship involved in structural equation modeling. So there are the exogenous relationship between one construct and measured variable, that is x, and the x and exogenous. Another is y and endogenous. It's a relationship between construct and measured variable. Measured variable means x and y. These are the measured variable, and construct means exogenous and endogenous. Relationship between construct and multiple measured variable, multiple x1, x2, x3, these are the multiple measured variable and one exogenous. And this is dependence relationship when construct 1 to construct 2. Dependence relationship means single headed arrow between the two construct. When we find the two variables construct and single headed arrow, it's a dependent relationship. And the correlation relationship means when double headed arrow, the one construct to another. Now in a basic of SEM estimation, basics of structural equation modeling. So the basics of the SEM explain the observed covariance matrix, this is observed covariance matrix, and another is estimated covariance matrix. So what does it mean? The closer these are means if estimated value near to the observed value, then our model fit is good. For example, observed covariance value is 1 and my estimated covariance matrix value is 0.95. So how much error? Error is 0.05. If estimated covariance far from this observed covariance like a 0.7, so it means it's a big error. So the estimated covariance matrix value should be near to the observed covariance matrix. Okay, so if it is so closer to the observed, the estimated covariance matrix value, then it is good. Now the confirmatory factor analysis. What is, so there are two terms, confirmatory factor analysis and structural model. So what is confirmatory factor analysis? So we should understand the concept of confirmatory factor analysis. Confirmatory factor analysis is similar to EFA. Confirmatory factor analysis similar to EFA in some respect, but philosophically it is quite different. With CFA, the researcher, please keep in mind, with CFA, the researcher must specify both number of factors that exist within a set of variables and which factor each variable will load highly on before result can be computed. What does that mean? Means before applying the confirmatory factor analysis, researcher decide how many factors we should take to explain this theory. For example, service quality. So there are 5 components. So researcher decide in advance I will take 5 components to explain the service quality, and each component or each factor has 4 or 5 measured variable questions. So how many total variables in a SERQUAL model? 22 questions. So it is pre-decided how many questions we should take, how many factors we should take. It is pre-decided before applying CFA and SEM. We decide in advance that we will take 5 factor and 22 questions to explain the concept of service quality model. But in a exploratory factor analysis, the statistical value decides how many factors we should retain in our model, because and we do not decide how many variables will be in a factor 1. We do not know, because the statistical value means the factor loading values, the total means we retain those variables whose factor loading value greater than 0.6. Okay, so in a the confirmatory factor analysis in advance, we do not need to perform the exploratory factor analysis before confirmatory factor analysis, because it is tested model. We do not need. If you use the exploratory factor analysis before confirmatory factor analysis, then there may be possibility that some questions will come under other factors. Okay, so we should not use the exploratory factor analysis before confirmatory factor analysis. So the technique does not assign variables to factor. Instead, researcher must be able to make this assignment before any results can be obtained. SEM is then applied to test the extent to researcher periodic pattern of factor loading represent the actual data. Now, what is EFA? EFA, we use the data to determine the underlying structure. Also typically use an orthogonal rotation and cross loadings are permitted in a EFA as long as they are relatively small. Explore the data and provide the researcher with information about how many factors are needed to best represent the data. Simply structure results when each measured variable load highly on only one factor and it has smaller loadings on other factor. What does it mean? I'm just uh, uh, distinguish the difference between the exploratory factor analysis and confirmatory factor analysis. So in a exploratory factor analysis, for example, the exploratory factor analysis means the exploratory factor analysis, the exploratory factor, I am drawing the factor matrix. It's a factor matrix. Okay, factor matrix. In this factor matrix, I'm taking very simple example, only 3 construct. The one is F1, another F2, and third construct F3, and each construct V1, 2 variables, V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, and V6. So in a exploratory factor analysis, its value high 0.98, and we take other factor loading value also, although it is less 0.12, 0.21. Okay, the high value 0.87 and low value 0.11, 0.15. So in a exploratory factor analysis, we retain these factor loading also. These, okay, these factor loading we can represent. We can present these factor loading in a EFA or in a factor matrix. But in a CFA, we assume that The only these variable, the what would be the factor matrix of CFA? These are the variables, and three F1, F2, and F3. V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6. So we assume this factor 0.98, 0.87, only and only this V1 related only and only with F1 and zero correlation with F2, zero correlation with F3. We assume it. And V2 related only with F1, zero correlated with this. Although theoretically, practically it is not possible, but in a CFA, we assume it's a condition that there is no relationship V1 with F2. There is no relationship with V1 and F3. Same as V3 related to only 0.89, 0.88, and unrelated to F1, unrelated to F1, unrelated to F3, unrelated to F3. So we assume this is the basic difference. But here in a EFA, we can present the factor loading value also. Now, confirmatory factor analysis with this. Confirmatory factor analysis, we specify the factor structure on the basis of good theory. So we should keep in mind, in a confirmatory factor analysis, we need good theory. Without theory, we should not use confirmatory factor analysis or structural equation modeling, and then use CFA to determine whether there is empirically support for the proposed theoretical factor structure or not. Okay, what does it mean? So basically, in a quantitative research, we test the theories or confirm the theories. If we want to develop the new scale, then we should conduct the qualitative research first and then quantitative. But if we just if we are using any theory to, we just test the theory or confirm the theory in a the confirmatory factor analysis. So we need theory to confirm or test the theory. The distinctive feature of EFA is that the factors are derived in EFA. Factors are derived from statistical result, not from theory. I told you. So we retain those factors and variable whose factor loading value is high, and we delete those variable whose factor loading value low. So in the EFA is that factors are derived from statistical result, not from theory. But in CFA, whatever factors we are taking, it is based on the theory. Theory suggests that if you want to explain the buying behavior of youth, then you should take theory of planned behavior, and through this theory you can use 5 factors to explain the buying behavior of a student. You should take attitude, subjective norm, pursuit behavior control, purchase intention, and purchase behavior. In advance, we take 5 construct to explain the theory of planned behavior. EFA can conduct without knowing how many factors really exist or which factor belong to which indicator. We do not know in a EFA. But in CFA, we decide these 4 questions will come under this factor. One of the biggest advantages of CFA SEM is ability to assess the construct validity of the proposed measurement theory. We find the construct validity. What is mean? Construct means whatever factors we are taking, we find whether this construct able to measure the particular phenomena or not. For example, if I want to measure the temperature, so my instrument the it should have some the mercury, glass. There is some ingredients to form the thermometer. Same as in a social science research, each construct, whether the questions are related to particular phenomena or not, if we want to measure the satisfaction, then our questions related to the satisfaction level, like I am satisfied with this product, I will recommend to this product, I will again buy this product, means all the questions related to this the construct. Same as in construct validity is the extent to which a set of measured items actually reflect the theoretical latent construct they are designed to measure. So how do we measure the construct validity? There are four things to measure the, there are four components to measure the construct validity. Basically, construct validity is the extent to which a set of measured variable actually represent the theoretical latent construct they are designed to measure. Construct validity uh, is made up of four important components. What are the four components? The four components, one is convergent validity, discriminant validity, nomological validity, face validity.